Now, from streams to streams, content creators have been called upon to help work with the charity Water Aid. To tell us more about quite what's going on, I'm joined now by CEO Tim Wainwright. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Nice to meet you.
Good to have you along and good to talk to you. Now, 8 in 10 of the next generation believe they are the driving force for change in the world, compared to nearly half of the general population's confidence in this. And a lot of that comes through the work they do in socials. And we do need to see better water across the globe. We are very lucky in the UK to have what we have, and we still have our problems when the weather gets a bit warm. But there are many parts of the world which really need more help and investment.
Absolutely, Jason. Yes, there are about 700 million people in the world who don't have access to clean water close to home. And this campaign, Team Water, which is led by Mr. Beast, the biggest YouTuber in the world, is setting out during the month of August to raise $40 million. That's around 30 million pounds to reach 2 million people with clean water.
And that sort of impact is huge. Not only does it mean that they take away a lot of the worry, there is none of the travelling backwards and forwards to the current places they're getting contaminated water from. It allows them to have time and to work within their communities on something of value alongside keeping themselves alive.
So true, so true. We know from WaterAid's work all over the world that when water is not available, clean water is not available close to home, it's almost invariably women that shoulder the burden of that, often walking for like more than an hour a day, carrying very heavy water containers. And still collecting water potentially from unsafe sources. So it's vital that we address this problem. In access to water, we can take it for granted, but it underpins everything in life. A healthy life, getting educated, earning a living, and it's such a waste of time. Women spending this time collecting water when they don't have to do it. It unlocks potential for so many things. So we're
Absolutely.
delighted to be part of the this campaign with a lead partner globally and with Team Water to deliver clean water to 2 million people in countries that span from Colombia across sub-Saharan Africa, countries like Nigeria in Africa, Bangladesh in South Asia, and Cambodia. So
Mhm.
all places where too many people don't have access to this basic thing that those of us living in the UK, um, we turn our tap on at home, we fill a glass, and we can drink it safely.
Absolutely. And I mean, to have so many creators involved from 84 countries across the whole globe. So, I mean, it's impressive numbers. Mr. Beast, obviously, somebody, I think everybody's heard of Mr. Beast, even if they're not really somebody who frequents the internet in the same way. I mean, even see him on chocolate bars these days. So, this is a global brand that he's using to help raise the profile here.
He is, and Mark Rober, who he works with closely, who's also one of the world's biggest YouTubers. Mark's a former NASA scientist and is really interested in the sort of more technical side of how you get water, how you clean it, make it safe to use, and so on. And they are bringing their incredible reach, but also mobilizing more than 3,000 other creators from all across the world who are making content which is going through their own social media channels, highlighting this vital issue of getting clean water to those that currently don't have it.
Yeah, and whilst in some of these places they won't be aware of the influences, the influence they can have on being able to then have a standpipe in a village that can make a difference. This sort of thing. I mean, no, you're not even talking about bringing water into people's homes. You're talking about just making it close enough to be effective.
Exactly. Close enough at least. I mean, ideally you want it in home, but at least close enough makes a huge difference rather than walking for an hour. I mean, just very recently I was visiting Ethiopia. So just to give an example, paint the picture of what this really means. It can be incredibly simple. I visited a rural area where a well had been dug. You have to go quite deep in Ethiopia. The water sits quite a long way below the surface, the land surface, but means it's pretty clean when you suck it up. And we were using solar power, a pump below ground, take it up to the top of a hill, store it there, a little bit of chlorine to make sure it's safe to drink, and then gravity fed. to different communities, to school, to a hospital. Um, and I was visiting like about 2.5 years after it had been finished, and it was being beautifully maintained by the local community who are collecting a small fee. It's highly affordable, and everyone could afford to buy this water. It's much, much cheaper than other options of getting clean water. And that small fee means that repairs can be done to make sure that this water lasts for decades. And that's what this campaign is focused on. 2 million people getting water for decades. So really making sure that this is done in a sustainable way, that the big changes we're seeing in weather patterns around the world are taken account of. So you dig your wells deep enough, you make sure that the system is flood resilient, because all over the world we're seeing more either floods or droughts. The weather's moving to extremes. And so it's vital for any community to have that kind of resilient access to water, because without water, you can't live.
Yeah, well, the online community coming together to help those communities across the globe who are lacking there. And you're not even really talking about full sanitation. You're talking purely about the water side of things as a starting point. But that then follows, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yes, yes. So WaterAid as an organization focuses on water sanitation and hygiene. And sanitation, for instance, if you're especially if the floods are a risk, if your sanitation is not managed well and it floods, you can't drink any of the water. This particular campaign is focused on getting water, which is a fantastic starting point. Um, and as you've said, we're engaging with a younger community here. And we've recently done a survey actually here in the UK amongst Gen Z, and they are much more aware that they believe they can change the world. 82% of them think they can change the world. And we really want to tap into that energy and get them involved in access to water, which I believe is one of the biggest problems that the world currently faces. It's a big, big issue that 700 million people in the world don't have access to water. It's got better actually over the last couple of decades. Quite a lot of people have gained access to water, but these changes in weather patterns are making it difficult. And there is a danger. I've met communities, for instance, I was in Madagascar last year. I was meeting communities who were used to getting reliable water and no longer do. And that was to do with a combination of drought and rising sea level, where the sea level rises were bringing salt underground into the wells, making them undrinkable. So it's a perilous situation in many parts of the world, and this campaign is a fantastic contribution to trying to chip away at a big global problem.
How do we join Team Water?
You want to go to teamwater.org, and also look at hashtag teamwater generally online, and either make a donation or you can make your own content, make your own video, highlight the issue, share it with your own social media following.
Well, you'll be able to see the likes of Mr. Beast doing that and really making a difference to awareness, and hopefully that can then turn into funding to look at these additional water supplies for, in this case, 2 million people. A very, there's a small amount of people who need it, but it's all a step in the right direction, and the work of WaterAid continues with that. Where do you go to see the WaterAid website as well?
You go to wateraid.org.
Simple as that. Check the details there. Well, CEO of WaterAid UK, Tim Wainwright, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jason. It's been a pleasure to be on. Thank you.